we got the left-wing French coalition hoping to introduce 90% tax on rich. Well, I'm all for progressive taxes. However, there should be a limit to that. And practically, if you want the rich to spend their money instead of hoarding it on expensive stuff, your Gucci bags, your diamond watches, your Bugattis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, your Mansions, then you should probably more like tell them to actually invest that money yourself instead of actually extracting the money from them directly, because those billionaires, some of them will use it better than the government, that's for sure. However, what I meant by that is that they could be ordered like to donate a portion of that percentages, like they would be normal tax on like on some sort of charities and stuff like that. Of course, it would be charities that would be registered by state, and the charities that would be known to have been not connected to any kind of billionaire, to avoid money laundering and stuff like that. So 90% tax on it, I mean, I don't think they're gonna really like it, which I don't really care. I don't mind. Honestly, I'm all for taxing the rich. Like, there's a massive wealth gap. Unfortunately, I think this is a little bit of two Neanderthal ways of handling it. And I believe there could be a better way a more modern way to tax the rich, a more creative way, if I may say so. So you might ask me, so do you have any concrete ideas? I said before, order them to invest some of that money into either charities, or into some state projects, like have state or the government every month like publish like some sort of list of public projects, and just have the billionaires choose to invest money into any of these projects. This could also help with the jobs as well as help the economy overall, as more money would be invested directly into like building projects, whether it would be highways, some buildings, some shopping malls, all that good stuff. So there's my one idea. I don't think it's particularly a good idea, however, I think it's an idea. And I think some of you could definitely come up with something much better than I have. So I mean, if you are willing, then sure, come with something in the comments, and maybe you can discuss it with somebody other if there will be some types of comments. I'll definitely add my 2 cents if possible, if I see your comment that is. So let's read the article right now. Multiple parties are jockeying for position in the aftermath of France's seismic snap elections. The leftist New Popular Front insists its idea should be implemented. The thing about these ideas is also they need to get support from Macron's party, which will be quite tricky, because these two subjects are definitely ideologically different. The Macron does not like certain parties in the New Popular Front, and New Popular Front probably doesn't really like Macron much. I don't think this tax on it is going to get implemented anytime soon. There's always possible they're gonna find some sort of compromise that they would implement such tax, while the Macron's government would get something in return. It's possible. That's politics. There are compromises, there are, diplomacy and all stuff like that. We'll only have to wait and see. It's very early to predict. We don't actually even know if they're gonna make a coalition and how that coalition is going to look like. It's still in very early stages of negotiating. Oh yeah, here we got Melenchon. Has been labeled as fervent and most divisive figure in French politics. So he actually beat even Marine Le Pen. Well, I heard actually somebody said that both Melenchon and Le Pen are both very divisive and people don't like them at all. That's also probably a reason why Macron does not want to just give up his presidency, because he knows like these two would probably met in the second round and the outcome would be probably not ideal for the French people, regardless of who would win, and it would probably cause a anger from people. Because from what I heard, again, Melenchon, Le Pen, both are quite unpopular. France's left-wing New Popular Front, now the largest group in the parliament, has called for a prime minister who will implement its ideas, including a new wealth tax and better price controls. The leftist alliance secured the most seats in the recent French elections, but fell short of the 289 seats needed for a majority in the National Assembly, France's lower house of parliament. As for the better price controls, I assume they mean oil. That's going to be very difficult if they set a universal price for the oil and the OPEC Plus is going to keep doing what it's been doing for the last year, just manipulating the price. Then this could definitely turn to be very, how to say, it would be very unprofitable for the French people, for the French government, and they would have to run on deficit if the oil prices just erupted, and they would have to buy expensive oil and sell it cheaper. That is what I understand from this thing. Like, it might be that they will only sell a universal price that the petrol station, the gas stations will have to abide by, and by that is meant like they will all have to serve the same exact price, not higher, not lower, regardless of the location. That is also possible. I will have to research it, but I can't really bother myself. I'm not really interested in the NFP, to be honest. President Emmanuel Macron together Spirok came in second, and Marine Le Pen far-right National Rally Rassemblement National Party finished third. France's parties are now jockeying for position, and it's unclear exactly how things will shake out. But the NPF has insisted that it will implement its radical sets of ideas. They'll compromise. I'm telling you right now that they will compromise. Their voters will not forgive them if another elections are going to happen, because they were not able to make a deal with Macron. They will just see them as a bunch of incompetent fools who were not able to negotiate with Macron, and they will switch to Macron or an even more radical option. People voted for them because they did not want Marine Le Pen as the head of the government, Marine Le Pen's party as the head of the government. And if they will be stubborn about what they want and will not make any compromises, then their voters will just send them to fuck off. Manuel Bompard, the hard-left France Unbowed party, which is part of NFP, said the president must appoint as prime minister someone from New Popular Front to implement the NFP's program, the whole program, and nothing but the program. That's a very autocratic way to say it, very demanding, and it will not work like that. It remains to be seen if the NPF as a whole will reach a deal with other parties to form a majority, or if more moderate parts of the coalition will splinter off in a deal with centrists. That's possible, because the leftist parties in France are not exactly united. They united only to prevent Le Pen to actually form a government, but it's possible that someone like Socialist and Greens will come to the Macron coalition, as well as Republicans, and form a majority. And they're just gonna say fuck you to both communists and France Unbowed, which is basically communists as well, but judging that they say hard left, so they are probably just another version of commies. It remains to be seen if the NPF as a whole... Okay, we already read that. France Unbowed leader Jean-Luc Melenchon has been labeled a firebrand, the most divisive figure in French politics, and France's Jeremy Corbyn. I see. I heard about Jeremy Corbyn, however, I never heard him talk or like that, therefore I never formed an opinion about him. However, he used to read Labour and he no longer reads Labour. I remember he led them in election against Boris Johnson, but if I remember correctly, even some sort of strongholds, bastions of the Labour were completely broken and they turned blue, so Labour kicked him out or he resigned. So I assume he was not a good politician. And people say Boris Johnson was charismatic. I mean, could be. I watched him like 2021, 2022. He seemed like an idiot. He seemed pretty boring, and it was very clear that he did not have the best intentions for the country. And British people should have learned, like, there was a lot of people who would still vote for him because he's charismatic, even despite his scandals at the COVID parties. I'm not sure if you hear that, but that's a tractor that's past my house. So happy that he's whatever. What are the NPF's policies? Shortly after it formed in June, the NPF outlined its ambitious economic program and how it would fund it. It included raising the minimum wage, where are you gonna get money for it? Price controls on essential foods, that's not a bad idea actually. I do agree that some commodities like water and pastry, pastry, okay. I'm gonna cut that out, but so yeah, water and pastry, stuff like that, bread. Yeah, this stuff, that's definitely not a bad thing to actually implement at all, because this is essential for everyone's, basic needs for food, water. It should be guaranteed. I definitely agree with that. Lowering the retirement age to 60, 62 was ideal. I would reverse it to status quo as a symbol that the French people simply do not want, the economy to be, do not want old people to just work until they are fucking dead. I think 62 is an ideal age. In our country, we are about, it got raised to 67 or 68 years, maybe. That's not good at all. And it makes a lot of people simply not want to actually save money or just to plan anything forward, because they know they'll be slaving for the rest of their lives, and they don't really feel much enthusiastic. You might think it's like only 4 or 6 years. Like there's a when you are 60 years old, those years will start passing by very slowly and very painfully. Like you're not going to be the youngest, and if you aren't rich, like your overall health is just not going to be as good as some other people's. So I mean, I think the 62 years for retirement is ideal. You're gonna be a little bit tired, but you could be tired about the idea. Not too much, not too little. It should be the best. And it's not like these old people would simply, everyone will stop working, right? Some of them will still go to work and earn some extra on site. Alright, again, it's not like every year like 500,000 people will suddenly stop working. No, some of them will still keep working to earn some money on site so they can take their grandchildren to a vacation or buy them gifts, birthday gifts, holiday gifts. What do we have next? A new 90% tax on any annual income above 400,000 euros. In my country, I think in my country it would make sense. In my country it would make sense. In France, I think it's a little bit too harsh. I think if they would give it above 800k or 700k, it would be better. I think 400k is simply too much. As I said, I'm not really the biggest fan of just taxing them raw. I would prefer to have a bit of a smarter taxation. Force them, I don't know, to invest actually some of their money into public projects, into charities, health charities, or send some percentage of that income to, health organizations, some percentage to the public projects, and I think it would be much better for the state overall. It would raise the level of hospitals. I'm not sure how good is medical support in France, and it would also raise the level of roads, which I think France is alright. However, hey, you never know. I mean, there's probably a lot of transit going on around France, so some extra coin thrown not had. And that's it. Now, what could happen next? It is possible that President Macron, who called the snap election in a bid to counter the rise of the far right, could seek deal with more moderate elements of the NFP. That is likely. He has ruled out working with Melenchon, France Unbowed party, but he could stretch out a hand to other parties in the NPF, the Socialists and the Greens. So we read this before yesterday. We're gonna repeat ourselves, but yeah, as I said, it is possible that he's gonna try to sway the Socialists and Greens, whom are likely to actually accept and just dip the Melenchon and commies. Yes, there's a communist party in the NPF or NFP. Well, this side, NFP, NPF, like, come on. Man, it's not that hard. His government last week suspended a decree that would have diminished workers' rights to unemployment benefits, which has been interpreted as a gesture towards the left. I see. It's going to be interesting to see how will this play out. I think he's gonna make an alliance with the Socialists, Greens, and the Republicans, and they're gonna rule for the next years. Maybe they're gonna invite somebody from the other parties that had not made a coalition, it's possible, and just rule with Melenchon and the communists. That would make the most sense. However, the French politics are definitely, quite interesting.